picture with me, Mr. Frog? Say cheese. You're so pretty. How do you encapsulate 8 months of beauty, horror, rage, terror, and gut-wrenching change into a single video? That clip you just watched was taken 8 months ago, at the end of August 2024. And since then, my whole world has turned upside down, and not in the way I expected or in the way that I wanted. You see, I'd been previously planning to move from my small town in North Dakota to somewhere in or near Minneapolis, Minnesota. The reason for that was that when my partner came out as who she really is, it became clear to us that our small town would not continue to be a safe place for us. One of many prime examples of this was one of our neighbors who I thought was really sweet and caring, and I had gotten along with really well, made it clear that she thinks that God should cleanse the earth of people like me and my partner with a great and terrible fire. Needless to say, we were inclined to move somewhere more blue. And of course, that didn't turn out how I'd expected either. But before I tell you what happened in regards to all of that, I want to share with you some of the beautiful memories that me and my wife shared before our life as we knew it was over. I've thought back on these memories often as I've endured everything that I've been through, as a reminder of the good things that I've experienced in life and will experience again if I can survive and get through to the other side of this whole endeavor. For so many years, me and my wife avoided going out into society for a number of reasons. But in the summer of 2024, we changed that completely and we opened up our world to new experiences and new people, as you can see in my last few videos. But we didn't stop with the summer. After we got back from visiting my family in August, we continued exploring the other towns in the area and the biggest city, Fargo. We went out to new restaurants. We visited parks, especially when there were events going on, like this cute little scarecrow auction for charity, which really inspired me to continue creating and experimenting with my art. And speaking of art, I picked up an old hobby of mine from grade school, and I actually started a couple of sketchbooks. And I have not felt so connected to my inner child and my true authentic self in years. Having this creative outlet has really changed the way that I interact with myself and interact with the world around me. And it sparked so much love and creativity that had all but been lost when I got ill in my late teens. And that artistic outlet started expanding into nail art and makeup, sewing clothes, and sewn into the fabric of everything else in my life. One of the most new and exciting things that we tried last fall was we went to our first anime con. We dressed up in crazy makeup and clothes, and we met up with our friend that we had met earlier that summer at a Ren fair. I hope we'll have the opportunity to do something like that again in the future. We also had a lot of experiences with animals. Firstly, we babysat my neighbor's dog, which was really fun. She's the only neighbor that we really felt safe around, so it was nice to be able to do something for her and also just get to know her little dog better. And then of course we had our annual mouse catch and release extravaganza.
He ate all of it, huh?
He ate all of it. He ate all the peanut butter. Look at you. Look at that little nose. There you go. Got all that shit in there. Oh my god, look it. Look it, look it. Here we go. Mouse release. There he goes. But this year had surprises for us because we actually caught a mole in our laundry room, not once, but twice. It's a mole.
He's so cute.
Fred, oh.
He looks like a Gilbert.
Hi, Gilbert.
There's the hole. It's nice. Here you go, buddy.
Oh shit. He's trying to get up. That is the wrong way, friend. Buddy! What do we do? Oh, there he is.
I literally dug past the frost specifically so you could dig.
Now we just have a hole in our lawn for nothing. We continued our tradition of celebrating the solstice, equinox, and other pagan holidays by celebrating the autumn equinox, when the moon is out during the day, a day before the equinox. Got our first pumpkin spice lattes of the year. And our close friend who celebrates with us every time joined us for the day. I made some comfort food and designed and crafted scrolls for us to write a message to our future selves that will be opened during the next spring equinox. Then we built a fire in the backyard and just enjoyed each other's company. And of course, I continued experimenting in the kitchen and making extravagant, decadent, and delicious meals for us regularly, as well as keeping up the status quo for our daily meal prep. We finished off the season harvesting the cherry tomatoes from the bushes that we had planted that spring, right up until after they succumbed to the first frost of the winter. And then we got out our telescope and our camera and captured a meteor that was passing by that night. And then, before we knew it, it was November 5th.
Miami-Dade is plus 10 for Trump with 70% counted. Up 10 points for Trump with 62% of the vote counted right here. Sheesh.
Now, it's not like I couldn't see this coming. I've been keeping a very close watch on politics and everything to do with it all summer long in anticipation of this moment. Yet I was still underprepared to handle the news. I thought that at worst, the results would be mixed, which would at least give us some time to chart a manageable path. But I thought that the odds were on our side and the left could quite possibly get a clean sweep. I was sorely mistaken. As the hours went on and night turned to day as we watched, it became clear that this was the end.
I actually just decided on a whim to press the record button. I think it's mostly to just capture this, this feeling. You know, out of all of the people that I was thinking of cosplaying this year, Anne Frank was not one of them.
There was a clean sweep, but not for the side that would allow us to live. We stayed up all night and all day trying to think of plans that would potentially save us. We considered going off-grid, starting a commune, scouring the globe for English teaching jobs, seeking asylum, hiding out in the homes of our friends and family, and fighting or dying for the cause. During this time, I also bought the Both of Us journals. We wrote in them almost every single day, knowing that this time would be important to document, and wanting to preserve these versions of ourselves that would likely be lost to memory amidst all the chaos and fear that would all but consume us. We learned things about our families before, during, and after the 5th that shocked us to our core. And before we knew it, more than half of our families were lost to us. Hell-bent on trying to shut us down, stuff us in a box, remove us from society, and in some cases, lock us away or even end our lives. After a few weeks of consideration and discussion, we decided on one course. We were going to apply for universities across Western Europe and hope and pray that we could come up with the will and the funds to make this happen if we were lucky enough to even be admitted. Days that were once filled with leisure and optimistic daydreaming became overcrowded with deadlines, applications, endless Google searches, hiring a realtor and putting our home on the market, and constant compromise and sacrifice. At the same time, we tried to enjoy what time we had left in our beautiful home and life together, knowing that this was the last time our lives would look anything like this for at least half a decade.
I got him. He's right here. I'm guiding him.
Oh, crazy.
We'll just let him chill. He likes the window.
We learned and practiced the dance in the snow together, which we later performed for our friends online, and practiced together when everything felt too heavy. We took long walks together in the snow and enjoyed all the lights and the way they reflected off the ice. We decorated for Yule for the last time in our home, savoring every minute while we baked and ate lots of cookies and other treats and meals to lift our spirits. Ready for the Christmas train, Tootie? We attended our last holiday train, and the first one where my wife went fully as herself, bows and all. We celebrated Yule and the winter solstice together with more scrolls, a huge feast that I made myself, lots of beautiful lights, and wonderful music and friends, whether they were there in person or online.
Okay, we're gonna try this hot chocolate. Grade A snob shit right here. Almond milk. That's good.
And me and my mother-in-law worked together to give my wife the best gift she's ever received.
Oh my god. It looks just like it.
We returned to her a version of her childhood stuffed animal that was stolen from her at a young age, whose absence had been felt up to this day. We made time to appreciate the seasons passing us by and take in all the beauty that winter had to offer us in this place we've called home for the last 3 years, all for the last time. And of course, I spent as much time as I could spare, continuing my art practice in all of its different forms. Then, the hell that we had been anticipating and preparing for really began. As difficult as the last few months had been, we knew that it was nothing compared to what was coming for us now. On January 20th, our fate as a country was signed and sealed, and every day after that was filled with more news stories than we even knew how to process. We spent hours every day witnessing the complete chaos that unfolded. Plane crashes, book burning, trade wars, mass firings, and more. So our days and weeks became a jagged roller coaster of experiences and emotions.
But the entire sky, virtually, is pink right now. Okay, that's closer to what it actually looks like. Oh, never mind.
One moment we were celebrating Imbolc and looking forward to spring, sunlight, and the blooming of nature. And the next we were watching our human rights be stripped away from us one by one. Then we'd be back to practicing our art and focusing on the present and enjoying our time together, only to be shaken from our makeshift reality to witness families being ripped apart, students being apprehended, and neighbors being disappeared. And so it went on for months, routinely shocking our nervous system until we thought we might lose our minds. It was with a sigh of relief that at the end of February, we welcomed Ellie into our home for a couple of weeks.
It's a spooky gay ghost.
Ew.
She flew out from her home in Vegas to pay us a visit and brought her dog Lily with her. We were finally able to distract ourselves for a bit.
Good morning. Thank you.
We watched our favorite films and shows together, did our nails, makeup, and hair, and just messed around and appreciated each other's company after so many months of loneliness, isolation, and fear.
Oh, Winker.
Such violence.
Truth.
Ellie also gave both of us our first tattoos. Alice chose a personally meaningful symbol from one of her favorite stories, and I designed one myself that will one day have a counterpart, both symbolizing balance, or lagom, as the Swedes would more accurately describe it.
Okay, you ready? I'm ready.
Look at me, Tootie.
Ow.
You say ow?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I have to get some bad bitch music going.
You need me to get some bad bitch music going? Okay, I'll get some bad bitch music going, Tootie.
You're so cute.
Let's take a look.
Look, they look like little surprise faces.
Mm-hmm. They do. How does it feel?
Spicy.
Spicy.
Hey, but guess what? You get to go take Benadryl after this and go pass the fuck out and not think about it till the morning.
Mm-hmm.
But what do you think?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
She's gonna be so happy with that.
Do you want the tip?
Oh my god. Yeah, here, give me the tip. There you go. I can't believe you ripped my tip off.
I'm sorry, you got that acrylic grip, you know?
Alright.
And then it was time to get back to reality.
We won't make home. You excited?
You ready to go home to the warm?
That's it.
After Ellie went home, it was time to get to work. We had a buyer for our home, and we had an immense amount of packing and decluttering to do before our closing date. So I'm doing a bit of a yard sale, a bit of an estate sale, just trying to get rid of all my stuff before I move. So I still have a lot more stuff that I need to go through. So I'll be adding to this pile. But here's an idea of what I've got. And then over here, I've got some decorations that I'll be adding more to. I've got lots of construction type of equipment. I will never be able to fully describe the amount of pain and burnout that this whole process put me through. I still have no idea how I made it through in the end. I had virtually no help. We were isolated from any community that could do anything for us. And between my disabilities and the overwhelming isolation and political tension, along with the fact that I still had to make all of our food from scratch at this time, I was completely overworked, and I felt so alone and desperate and vulnerable. I'm feeling really sad about everything that we're leaving behind, and I wanted to talk about some of the little rituals and habits and things that we've been doing here that will be different going forward, so I don't forget. The first one being when Alice gets ready in the morning doing her makeup, I would sit on the little chair in her room and I would sketch or just sit there with her. Another one being sitting on the couch together eating our toast and our fruit. Alice always has apples and I always have oranges. Watching Good Mythical Morning together with our little heater at our feet because it's cold in the morning. Making tea with breakfast and drinking tea after. Taking out this cute little quilt and putting it on the floor and then sitting on it and going through all the news so that stress of the news feels like it's separated from the rest of the day. The little thrift store on our side of the tracks that closed down last November that had such beautiful cute little things in it, and I would volunteer there sometimes. In the winter there's a lot of snow and the snow froze over into ice. If you kicked it, it would make this really beautiful sound. And I would go on walks for like an hour or more, just kicking around the ice and listening to the sound it made. Sitting down on our bed together before we go to bed and writing in our journals. And then when we were done, Alice would read what she wrote that night and I would read something that I wrote. And I would brush her hair before bed. Sometimes holding hands while we're driving in the car and just talking and smiling at each other and going on little walks together. We have one block that's our favorite to go around because there's a little dog that looks like Rosie, and sometimes she'll be out in the yard and we get to pet her. And then there's this house with a bunch of different wind chimes with butterflies on them, all the way to the west side of town, and walking up and down the dirt road there. Sometimes you can see horses. If it's the sunrise or the sunset, it's really beautiful to be on the edge of town so you can see the whole sky. I'm gonna miss this. Knowing that I could never get them back, and knowing that I would be starting fresh in a new country alone, made it unbearable to give away all of the beautiful things that I had collected that made me feel at home for the first time in my adult life.
Would you put pigtails in?
What's the weirdest thing science can do to peanut butter?
Let's talk about that.
What other wonders is nice?
Freeze-dried peanut butter.
All the points of the journey. Go through them.
How do you feel?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
You don't know?
How do you feel?
Like it's almost like any other day. But this will be the last time we'll be doing this.
And the couch is gone, and then everything else is gone.
In hopes that we can start a new life.
Crazy stuff.
And then, before I knew it, it was time to say goodbye. We've been working non-stop for the last 3 weeks of just constant struggle and highs and lows and sobbing and dissociating and burning out and laughing and crying and just like every possible emotion. So many unpredictable things. I could talk for hours about all of the unpredictable things that have happened. But now we're on probably our second to last day, because one of the unpredictable things we're still figuring out. Enjoying our fire before we do the last push and get the hell out of here and move on to the next step of this insane journey. I don't think any words can capture what we've gone through over these last 3 weeks. I don't think any form of documentation could even come close to capturing what we've gone through. And we've still got so much further to go. These next couple days should be the end of the hardest part. Fingers crossed that we can do this one way or another. And I love you.
I love you.
Today will be my last day in Hankinson. So I'm taking my last solo walk around the town, taking videos and pictures of everything so that I can remember it. It's hard to believe this is my last time. It's a full rainbow. Look at that. This is the first full rainbow I've seen here. Oh my god. It's just getting brighter and brighter. Look at that. Oh my god. It's beautiful. Oh, and it's raining. Shit. I gotta go. Okay, I'm not going yet. Look, it's a double rainbow now. This is a full double rainbow. What is happening today? Do you see this? Full double rainbow. Oh my god. I need to get home, but I can't stop looking at this. In mid-April, Ellie flew out yet again to help us with our move. We shoved all of our last belongings into our car and a rental minivan as tightly as we possibly could. And then we left, once and for all. The place we truly found ourselves in. The place we had made into our home for the last 3 years, disappearing into the rearview mirror behind us, never to be seen again. As we made our way towards a place that we had fled 3 years ago. A place where we will bide our time until our next huge leap, where a new phase of life will begin. But that's another story. The date as of recording right now is Wednesday, June 11th. It's been 2 months since we've moved, and it will be another month and a half before we move again. My life still feels very unpredictable and unsteady right now. But at this point, our future is set up for us, and all we have to do now is just wait for the date. My mind and body still don't truly believe what is happening, and I don't know when they will, and I don't know when I will feel safe again. But I know that it will happen, and I know that the path I'm on right now will lead to that happening. And I am just so grateful for those 3 years that we got to spend in that home. I'm so grateful for all of the things that we learned about ourselves during that time, and the safety we felt for the first while there. And I'm so proud of the people that we became in that place. And as afraid and stressed and depressed as I am with everything that's going on right now, I am still excited and hopeful for the future, and I am still excited to see the versions of ourselves that we'll be able to become when we enter this next phase of our lives. So this is where I will leave you for now. I don't know how much access I'll have to my computer over the following months, and I don't know how much time I'll have to edit during that time. But regardless of how long it takes, I fully intend to document this journey. I've already documented so much of my time here. So my story is far from over, and I hope to see you in the next one. Please take care of yourselves out there. Bye-bye.